Okay, we're watching a new MMORPG, dude.
Destroyed, but buildings, services, and NPCs can be disabled for a period of time.
That's good to hear,
Quests and
Noobage.
Ashes of Creation are divided up into three
Anyways, guys, if you guys are wondering, this is part 2 of Jose watching Ashes of Creation, giving his reaction to it. This is the second part of the stream. The last time, well, let's just say it went deep into my bedtime. I didn't realize it until I was halfway through. But, this is Ashes of Creation, giving my bit of a reaction to it. So if you guys heard my reaction part 1, reaction part 2 coming here.
categories: events, tasks, and narrative quests. Events are things that happen in Ashes as a result of the development of the world. Successfully completing an event will have positive consequences such as buffs, and failing events will have negative
By the way, guys, just in case you guys are wondering, I'm watching it on this screen to the right, so yeah.
consequences such as natural disasters or node services being unavailable for a period of time.
Okay.
Tasks are quests without excessive amounts of text and story around them, such as collect X resources to help build a blacksmith for the node. And narrative quests are more traditional story quests that can be personal to your class, race, or the region of the world you're in, with some of these story arcs
Yes, it is.
being
It is.
behind
It's an
further
MMO.
development of the nodes. If I was a role player, Ashes of Creation is without a doubt the MMORPG I'd be looking forward to the most. This game's being designed with so many great RP features to really add that extra level of immersion. First, let's talk about the extensive player housing system. This game will have 3 types of player housing: instance apartments, real space
2 seconds, did I miss the quest?
and
Yeah, 2 seconds, guys. I missed the quest part.
Quests in Ashes of Creation are divided up into
We'll get this
3
done quickly.
categories: events, tasks, and narrative quests.
Oh no, we already discussed that. Okay,
Events are
cool.
things
Never
that
mind.
happen in
All good.
Ashes
Sorry, guys.
housing.
Let's get back to it.
First, let's talk about the extensive player housing system.
Sorry.
This game will have 3 types of player housing: instanced apartments.
With the quests, yeah, that's a great system. Events that actually affect the world, narrative quests for your own story. It really tickles everyone's fantasies, and just collect X, Y, Z kind of thing.
Real space open world freeholds, and static housing within nodes. Each of these 3 types of player housing become available once a node reaches village stage or higher. Instanced apartments will become available in a node if a mayor decides to construct apartment buildings within an empty plot. These will work similar to the housing system in BDO, where you approach an apartment door and you've got a list of options for whose apartment you want to visit. Static housing within nodes are real space player housing that players can buy that will be visible to everyone. You'll be able to decorate the front of your house with yard ornaments.
Yeah, Rift is similar as well. Like WoW's always going to be the best because WoW's got good gameplay.
Levels up.
With real-time world results, yeah.
Real space player housing plots that can be situated within the zone of influence of a node, but not actually inside the node. Think of static housing as buying a townhouse that grows in size over time with the node, but freeholds as owning a set size plot of land in the countryside. Freeholds are roughly half an acre in size, and due to limited space in the world, players can only own one of these per account, whereas apartments and in-node housing are limited to 1 per server. There's many buildings you'll be able to place on your freehold, such as a blacksmith, stables, and other stuff related to crafting, role-playing, and other life skills.
Damn, this would be good.
Might want to partake in. Each of these 3 forms of player housing will allow players to decorate them with furniture, some of which is functional, others just cosmetic, and when a node's destroyed, players will lose their housing. However, a template will be mailed to them so they can quickly load the layout of their housing hassle-free when they eventually find a new home. As with every good roleplay MMO, Ashes of Creation will feature a wide range of races. Currently, the game is planning on 9 playable races for launch, each of which...
Okay, so Kayla, Valoon, the humans, Elves, Empyrean, Parai, Renkai, Vec, Dunia, and Nukia. I assume they're like Alliance and Horde kind of thing, it seems. Or they're maybe...
which have different cultures, which will be reflected in the appearance of nodes that they contribute to the most. You've got 2 different variations of humans, dwarves, elves, orcs, and a race called the Tull.
Elves for the win, yeah, I'd go with elves as well. I like elf architecture.
Racial abilities, and each race will have different base stats. However, there will be no gender lock for any of the races, and every race can play as every class.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Features the game will have include an extensive emote system.
Like, that's a good thing. That's a good thing to have, like, a job system, like FF14 has. It's a really good thing because, like, a lot of stuff in WoW, like, one of WoW's biggest downfalls is that you require different classes at max level to go into the cutting edge scene. And this game doesn't have a cutting edge theme, as you know, the PvE content's different from node to node. So, you know, this really attacks that area. But the problem is, like, when you do that system, like, when your node instances are different, by having jobs, like, the problem isn't there in the first place to solve. Anyway. Oh, don't worry, I'll do that.
Interactable furniture, the ability to lean against scenery, sit on benches, and dance with other players. You'll
That's
be
pretty
able
cool.
to play parlor games with other players inside of taverns, some being dice games, others involving cards. You'll be able to join different types of social organizations in the game, such as the Scholars Academy, Thieves Guild, or Traders Company.
Yeah.
And there'll also be a marriage mechanic in the game that may unlock special quests and further functionality with player housing. Overall, from a roleplay perspective, it seems as though there's going to be more than enough choices and customization in Ashes of Creation that each player's journey in this game will be completely unique, and it will also have all the
This might be a really good
elements that can help bring...
Like, this might be a really good game to stream as well. Like, you know, from GTA 5, you know how they RP, but at the same time, like, I can also imagine the fact that there'll be players who aren't going to be RPing. So I think the servers they're going to have to be an RP server, because can you imagine like the players playing for gameplay and just like ruining everyone's RP by like invading the towns and stuff like that? Like, that would be kind of annoying. Has this been touted as the WoW killer? Yes, it has. And I'm gonna say now, like, you know, if this is gonna be a WoW killer, it cannot be Ages of Conan. Like, there are some grind aspects to it, but the grind aspects cannot be Age of Conan. If it is, it's the dead game on a rifle.
Bring people together in an MMO. Professions and life skills in Ashes of Creation are referred to as artisan classes. These are split into 3 different trees: gathering, processing,
yeah, exactly,
crafting.
exactly.
Professions consist of fishing, herbalist.
But I gotta tell you now, the devs weren't the ones that said it was gonna be a WoW killer. It's the fanboys, okay? The devs never said that, okay? Oh, by the way, the gathering professions is I'll just actually just get rid of my camera, okay? Is gonna be fishing, herbalism, lumberjacking, mining, and taming.
Lumberjacking, mining, and animal taming. Processing professions basically refine raw material.
The RP segment's really good. Like, it's really, really good.
Such as forges to process ore into bars, lumberyards processing logs to planks, and so on. Crafting professions consist of alchemy, armor smithing, blacksmithing,
gonna tame cows,
cooking, jewel crafting,
shipbuilding. That's interesting.
Shipbuilding, siege weapon building, and weapons.
And they separated armor smithing and blacksmithing.
Each character will only be able to truly master one profession. You'll be unable to master multiple. You'll still...
I like the fact that they separate weapon and armor smithing, and they have general blacksmithing. Like, I do like that. Like, you know, I liked Classic WoW when they had to, like, when you did weapon smithing, you had to do, like, you had to do armor smith, you know, mace smith and stuff like that, you know? I feel like the servers will die. Yes, that's the main thing I've got a criticism for as well, is that, if the servers die off, let's just say not enough players, the game's not going to be fun. Like, the games need every single thing functioning to actually function. And that's the biggest issue they've got, is how they're going to adapt to that as well if people are there. Okay, like, how do they adapt if the players aren't there? Like, are they going to put bots? Are they going to put NPCs that will help out or something like that? Because that's what's going to happen. Like, I've already talked about this in part 1, is that if no one's there, I like a game of new ideas, but I don't think that being too innovative and hardcore is the best way to retain players. Yeah, like, you know, that's what I'm getting concerned about. Like, you know, that's how WoW did Looking for Dungeon, is because they realized that servers were dying, and people who are on shit servers who put a lot of investment in their account to keep them from quitting, they put Looking for Dungeon in. Anyways, let's continue.
Still be able to progress with multiple professions, but not to the extent of mastery. This is to create the need for community interaction and create a sense of identity.
That's a good thing.
Ashes of Creation is also being designed so that it won't become irrelevant like in other MMOs. Crafted gear will be on par with the highest tier drops from raid bosses, and due to being limited to mastery of only one artisan class, guilds will have to organise multiple people to meet their crafting and gathering needs to initiate sieges, complete projects,
plays WoW,
to the node. Personally, the profession I'm most excited for is animal husbandry, as you'll be able to breed different animals together to
that'll be fun.
Some really weird and wonderful mounts.
Lizard mounts. Okay.
The class system in Ashes of Creation is quite...
So I'm going to say that now with WoW, no, they're not going to merge the factions. I don't think they will merge the factions. Maybe when it gets desperate to its like Moonlight period, Twilight period, but I doubt. There are still different places where we spread on different servers. Yeah, I think they're gonna have to merge servers together. Look at these graphics. Their graphics are really good. There's not a lot of people willing to spend a lot of time and effort. Amount of players will be a WoW kill. I mean, you can still do well. Yeah. It's like Age of Conan. Like what happened with Age of Conan is that it burnt so many people out on grinding. Okay, like seriously grinding. Okay. Like the amount of grinding, okay, in like a game like Age of Conan. Like if you guys played Age of Conan, like it was just fucking grindtastic game. And if this game ends up being a grindtastic game, it's gonna be dead on arrival because WoW, like everyone will be like, oh, I'll just go back to WoW instead because I don't have to grind as much as this. Yes, let's keep going.
Quite interesting and leads to a lot of variety. First, you'll start out by picking.
Have you played WoW free? Yeah, I have.
Type between Bard, Cleric, Fighter, Mage, Ranger, Rogue, Summoner, and Tank. Eventually, as you progress with
Tank's finally a class, guys.
You'll get to choose a secondary class out of the same 8 options I previously mentioned.
Okay.
So choosing to be a mage, then fighter, for example, would give you the overall class of battle mage.
Yep.
With this system, there's a possibility of 64 different class combinations, which are displayed on screen now. Ashes of Creation will be designed around the Trinity system of tank, healer, and DPS.
Of course.
You will not be able to change your class's primary role. However, with some effort, you will be able to change your secondary role. Weapons and armor will not be class locked, but some classes will obviously be more efficient with certain types of armor and weapons. And when it comes to the game's combat system, it will use a tab target action combat hybrid system. The way this system will work is that each class will have 2 categories of skills: tab target skills and action combat style skills. Players can choose to have up to 75% of either tab targeting abilities or 75% action combat abilities, but not 100% either way. Personally, the way I'd imagine this system will play out will be something close to Guild Wars 2 or Arcade. However, the action combat side of this combat system is still in development as of making this video, so it's hard to say how the complete system will actually feel.
Yeah, this is the hardest part. Like when you're trying to balance a game, that is going to be the hardest part. Like they've got to nail that combat, especially if the gameplay is crap. WoW's going to take it out. Like this is the problem. Like they're walking up against. Like a lot of games do build all these systems, and then the gameplay is fucking bad. Okay, and it's just like, well, you can't have that. Your gameplay cannot be bad. The classes. Or let's just go back. I'm very sure there's a list somewhere. Like I know they quickly went past it, but there's a list somewhere. Let's find a list.
Battle Mage. With this system, there's a possibility of 64.
There we go. Okay, so basically you got Minstrel, Scribe, Blade Dancer, Sorcerer, Bowsinger, Charlatan, jeez. But those are all the different classes you can have. So you can get primary and your other class. And you can go like full tank. I like the Song Cooler, the Summoner, the Sun Cooler. How many ults must I have? You can change your secondary class option, but you can't change your main class option. Yeah, to be fair, like I gotta say with Richard, he's gonna be streaming every day because he's got nothing else to do in that little unit of his. Anyways, let's keep going. I think we were at the end of the Adventure in World. Let's go.
When starting out in Ashes of Creation, you'll first make your character.
I'll just be a guardian, dude. I'll just be a Bowsinger.
One of 4 divine gateways in the world. Each race does have their own starter zone and starter quests, but they won't be super mandatory to do, more of a recommendation. There's nothing stopping you as an elf spawning in the dwarven starting area to level with your friend. The world size in Ashes is planned to be truly massive, approximately 480 square kilometers in size, including both water and land content, as well as a diverse range of biomes ranging from deserts, swamps, plains, forests, snowy mountains, tropical islands, and everything in between. This game will be fully open.
You always spawn the fastest leveling zone, yeah, exactly.
Zones known as the Underrealm. Ashes of Creation will feature an in-game viewable world map. However, starting out, much of it will be covered in a fog of war until
same as WoW.
have been explored and uncovered.
What's this game again? Ashes of Creation.
There will be some zones in the world that will experience all 4 seasons, which will bring about their own events. buffs, debuffs, and farming challenges. Seasons will rotate once each week, with a full 4-season rotation
Okay, that's pretty cool.
every 4 weeks. When it comes
When's
to
this game? I'm
leveling,
not sure.
the max level will be
Apparently
50,
this year.
and it will take roughly 45 days of playing 4 to 6 hours per day for the average player to level from 1 to 50.
God.
So definitely more on the hardcore side of things in that
Yeah,
regard.
definitely.
Unlike a lot of modern MMOs, flying mounts will be extremely rare in Ashes of Creation.
Yeah, who's up for grinding up to level 50 day of launch, okay? I don't think anyone's gonna get above level 10. Yeah, they're gonna have to change that, like, dude, like, you can't have that. That's gonna kill the game if you can't get max level in like a month or stuff like that, or a month and a bit. Should be much better than ESO. Yeah, WoW's a lot better than ESO, but it's a lot of max turbo content. Maybe you shouldn't think of it in terms of WoW. Yeah, I'm gonna say that as well. Like, I don't think you could really think of this game too much in terms of WoW, because I don't think it's kind of a WoW kind of game. Like, it is this isn't a WoW kind of game. It's kind of a game you play with your friends and stuff like that. Like, this isn't a a gameplay sort of game, I guess, from that kind of thing. What, too cartoony? Yeah. Anyway, let's continue with this. I just feel like from a gameplay aspect, if you're gonna take on WoW, like some people have already said they're gonna take on WoW, you can't have this, okay? WoW Classic like Guides and Knowledge takes a month and a half. Yeah, exactly. That's true as well. Like Johnny's right about that. Anyways, let's continue. Just grew 45 days at 4 hours a day. Yeah. Win our enemy feel live. Nah, he's only kidding. Come on.
That's achievable only for guild leaders that own one of the game's 5 castles, a
Okay.
layer of Metropolis nodes, and through legendary limited time dragon eggs that players might obtain from a world boss. It's unlikely there will ever be more than 10 players per server with temporary access to flying, and when you consider that each server will have a population of between 8 to 10,000 players, seeing them will be really epic. It's also worth mentioning that fast travel will be extremely limited in this game.
Of course,
as
it
the
has to be.
developers want distance to matter. The only form of fast travel that will be possible is if a scientific node reaches the Metropolis stage. At this point, players can construct a building that offers fast travel only to nodes within the Metropolis's zone of influence. But that's pretty much it for my basic explanation of what Ashes of Creation is without going super in-depth on stuff. Next, I want to talk about why I believe this is the most exciting upcoming MMORPG, and why this game isn't just a pipe dream, rather something many people, including myself, will be testing with no NDA before the end of this year. First of all, it goes without saying, after everything I've just explained about the game, it will be the most ambitious fantasy MMORPG ever attempted. The game will truly have something for everyone. It's not just a PvP MMO or a PvE MMO.
I'm gonna say here, like, with this game, like, I don't think, like, dude, like, you can't have a level system of the 45, like, days to get up, and then say it's gonna be a bit for everyone. Like, if your content is locked by max level, which is going to be locked by max level, I assume, you're going to have a devil of a time trying to keep players if they want to see a max level.
It's a genuine PvX MMO that has pretty much everything. Usually when a new MMORPG is announced and they talk about their plans when it comes to game design, it's always vague. There's a ton of question marks on many core systems, and it doesn't take long before players can look at the ideas of the developers and straight up say, this is a bad idea, this won't work. New World has been a perfect example of this since the first time I tried the game in 2018 to recently when it announced its delay. When it comes to the game design of Ashes of Creation, it seems to me that almost every aspect of the game has been clearly thought out, and thanks to years of Q&As between the community and developers, we have a clear blueprint for how this game will actually play out if you care to read it on the Ashes of Creation wiki. When it comes to the core game design systems, there's nothing I'm overly concerned about. Everything seems to make sense and follow a strong design.
Wait, what? Like, are you serious? Like, I'm gonna say, like, this guy, are you serious? The big concern should be, like, you take 45 days to get to max level. Like, that's a big concern, because, like, you gotta, you gotta get the first person to be happy with it, and you're gonna get the other people who don't want to grind, like, 4 to 6 hours a day to get next level. Like, you're gonna get the RPs for sure, But I'm not totally too sure you're gonna get the guys like the gameplays and the heavy progression and stuff like that in this game. But we'll continue this, okay? Like, I think this guy's got to realize it doesn't have everything for the MMORPG player. Imagine getting world first guilds. Well, PvE is already segmented, where like your PvE content will change based on the node. So I'm not sure. At least they're letting you know. True.
Design principle of risk versus reward. For me, the only real question.
But it's got a lot of content, definitely.
The combat be. What does their 75% action tab hybrid combat system actually play like? I think if they can nail that and just follow
they'll be around at least grinding hard and moving back, yeah, potentially.
It will be a guaranteed success. Ashes of Creation is primarily a privately funded MMORPG made by an MMO fan frustrated by the direction of the genre, who was extremely successful in business earlier in life. Since I first covered this project in 2017, we've seen the studio he created expand to over 100 developers, attracting people from Blizzard, Sony Online Entertainment, Daybreak Games, and more. This year especially, we've seen production
someone's going with Star Citizen
up significantly, and in recent live streams we've seen gameplay sessions of many core systems working, such as the mayoral system, early hybrid combat, real-time node development, open world dungeons, a 40-man raid, the caravan PvP system, basic professions, and the purchasing of in-node player housing. What's more impressive is the creative director's commitment to transparency, despite the project still likely being a solid 2 years from completion. Sometime this fall, we've been told that people who have access to the game's Alpha 1 test will be able to stream and make content about the game with no NDA. And when you consider that Amazon's New World still has a...
Just in case you're wondering, there's no pay to win in this game, okay? They don't want pay to win, so $15, free box, no pay to win, only subscription. Yep, that's exactly what Johnny said. $15, free box, no pay to win. Like, you know, if I get alpha for this game, I'll probably stream it. You know, probably give you guys a look at it. And, you know, like, it'd probably be like, you know, when WoW's on a bit of a lull.
Strict NDA, despite previously being 2 months out from its supposed release, to me shows a lot of confidence in a product. Now, all of that's not to say that Ashes of Creation has
no NDA,
drama surrounding its development, because it certainly has.
Oh, nah.
Ashes of Creation Apocalypse, the Battle Royale testing environment on Steam, caused nothing but confusion to the people that were casually following the project.
Wait, what?
And in the past, the community went long periods of time without seeing any tangible gameplay due to an issue where large portions of Foundation code had to be rewritten, essentially delaying the game by 1 year. But in 2020, we've really started to see Ashes of Creation come together. Almost every monthly live stream we've been shown new gameplay, we've already had players get into the early Alpha 1 client and talk about their experiences thanks to no verbal NDA, and community perception of the project as a whole has shifted from extremely skeptical to cautiously optimistic. Whilst there's still a long road ahead for Ashes of Creation, I have to say that in the 5+ years I've been a full-time MMORPG YouTuber, this is the only upcoming MMO that I've been able to look at and say to myself, if this game releases, it has a real chance of being the next truly successful MMORPG. Thanks for watching.
Okay. There's a few things that I get, it is a very, very good game paper, like very, very good game paper. Anteater Zebra Giraffe mount, dude, that'll be a rare mount. The issues I have is definitely, of course, will it release? It will be a Duke Nukem 3D, where it never actually releases. That's one question, but the gameplay looks great. Like, you know, it's a very, very fun gameplay. It's really picked off all the good ideas from the other MMOs. Like, really picked up all the good ideas. Is this a crowdfunded game? No, it isn't. It's not Star Citizen. It's one of the developers. It's privately funded. So, just in case you're wondering about that. So yeah, you know, my reaction over the game, it's great. Like, it's great overall. Like, it's got great, you know, gameplay, great content. The only things I've got is if the server dies, like the gameplay-wise, the server dies, and how is it going to run if the server's dead? Like, with the node system and stuff like that. Like, are they going to be able to build metropolises despite the server being dying, or is it going to be impossible to reach? What's the other thing as well? Combat. Combat's another thing, and leveling. Like, how can you level and combat? You know, is there a way if you want to level quickly? Can you? Like, you know, is it just everything gives the same amount of EXP and it doesn't really matter what you do? Because the main thing is if gameplay like this game is going to make or break, as the reviewer said, on the actual gameplay. If the gameplay is absolute arse, it's a dead on arrival game. It doesn't matter if you got player housing, nodes, what that is. People just want good gameplay. Like that's all I want. Is just good gameplay, good fluid gameplay where I enjoy my class, I enjoy combat, and I enjoy the relative systems where I can be creative or farm dungeons, grind gear, and craft gear. Okay, I just want to have some fun doing that. And if the gameplay is good like that, then it'll be a game to be messed with. But if it isn't, WoW's just gonna kill it. Okay, WoW's just gonna kill it over and over again. If I take my time leveling and discovering the world like the first end WoW, that's me. Yeah, I can do that as well. But I do want to experience everything. I guess. Now I want to play Dungeons, the Dragon's Dogma. Well, it was a very, it's a very very. It looks like a very very fun game, and I would crack into it with some of my friends. Really build a server community, like growing a node to a metropolis and stuff like that. Like it would be awesome. Like until we get the first metropolis, you get nudes and stuff like that. I think the main thing to keep the game going for the first 3 to 6 months will be definitely growing a node. Like it'll be definitely growing a node, and then afterwards, that's gonna be the main point. That's what happened to Ages Conan as well. Is that it was too much of a grind, and if this game is too much of a grind, there's gonna be massive issues. Like massive issues. But, hope not. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Like, if you guys are on YouTube watching me talk about this, put your comments below on what you enjoyed about the game. And do you feel like my criticism and benefit is wrong? Like, I'll definitely play this game, but do you feel my criticism is incorrect about it? Like, maybe, I'm missing the forest for the trees. Like, it will definitely bring the RPs. Okay, the RPs will come in here and they'll play the fuck out of this game because this game's really, really good for RPs. It's got all the necessary agreements to RP in and build houses and stuff like that. I feel like everyone wants something quick to rush at failure from something less WoW expects. Yeah, exactly. Like, that's what that's one good gameplay that I can experience pretty quickly and then get to the max level content where I want to grind it out, essentially. Maybe that will work for this game. Like, I can understand it works. There's a lot of content to really chew your way through. So the grind of 45 days to get to max level won't really feel much of a grind if you're discovering new content. So I can understand that sort of thing. To be fair, I'm not the greatest RPG MMO person to look at, but I'll play the game. Like 100% play the game. Like if WoW's getting boring as hell, I'll play Ash's Creation with a few buddies, and make a guild or something like that, and really experience like all the aspects of the game, even the PvP as well. Even though I don't like PvP at times. But yeah, let's see who's on at the moment. Anyways, guys, that's a bit of extra. Well, I'm not sure if I can call it chill time with Jose, but just a bit of an RPG review with Jose because I got this game from someone saying Asmongold should watch this video, so I'm like, okay, I'll watch this video as well.